Hi guys, and welcome to today's YouTube video. In today's video we will be discussing the current state of Bitcoin and the current state of Ethereum. Last week I couldn't upload any YouTube videos since I was visiting the World Cup in Qatar, which was a great experience, but I didn't have time to upload any videos. This week we are back in full force and we're gonna start off with a very important update on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. The first thing that I'm looking at on Bitcoin right now is that we have formed a nice range. Why? Because we have three different pivots. We have our first pivot, second pivot, and also our third pivot. Also, we can see that we have seen a massive move towards the downside and afterwards started consolidating. This consolidation phase can take a while, and I want to start trading this range until it breaks, especially since we have not taken out this buy side liquidity yet, and also we haven't tapped into this hour 4 fair value gap, as you can see. As long as we don't tap into that fair value gap on the 4-hourly time frame or take out the buy side liquidity, or at least visit the range high over here, I want to look for potential long positions. Does that mean that we can't go lower? It definitely doesn't mean that. Yes, we can go lower. Yes, we can break through these previous lows, but I just don't feel comfortable trying to short the bottom, trying to short support over here, as long as we have not taken out this buy side liquidity over here, okay? Because it means that the most amount of liquidity is definitely towards the upside, and we all know that the market makers are always trying to push the price towards the upside. So if we start looking for potential areas of support where we might look for potential long positions, we can see that Bitcoin has made a decent move towards the upside, started consolidating, and right now is trying to find support in order to see another move towards the upside. If we want to look at some kind of an impulsive move towards the upside, so some kind of a 5-wave structure towards the upside, we are looking at a potential long position on the finish of the second wave, the first corrective wave. And usually that first corrective move retraces back towards the Fibonacci levels of the golden pocket and the 0.786. So that second wave usually retraces back pretty deep before another move towards the upside, before that second impulsive move towards the upside. So our area of interest is definitely between that golden pocket and between that 0.786 fib level. What can we also see is that we have some pretty nice confluences, as on the 4-hourly time frame we have that sell side liquidity over here, and we can also see that this low and this low are almost equal. So we also have created some equal lows, which is creating some nice liquidity below these lows, and on top of that liquidity we have that strongest Fibonacci area of support, the golden pocket. Also, if we go on the 1-hourly time frame, we can see that we have another wick over here. So I actually prefer to take that wick instead of the wick above as the sell side liquidity, which means it is even closer towards our golden pocket. It also means that we have an imbalance that is yet to get filled over here, so that will also attract the price, as you can see. On top of that, we have a nice market structure break over here with this candle, but we haven't retested that market structure break, that break of structure. And usually you see a retest of the break of structure before any kind of continuation towards the upside. Okay, so we are not taking this wick over here. Why? Because that wick was only on Bybit and not on other exchanges. So we can see beautiful break of structure over here. Haven't retested it yet. So that is another confluence. Okay, on the 4-hourly time frame, we can also see that we have a very nice demand area coming in right here on top of that 0.786 fib level. Okay, so already looking at quite a lot of confluences. On the daily time frame, we can also see strong daily level of support over here yet to be tested. Okay, so that is another nice confluence over here. So we are looking at massive amounts of confluences on the weekly time frame. No proper confluence yet. What is nice to see is that we are potentially creating a wick towards the downside before creating a possible green candle towards the upside. Okay, so we are seeing a lot of confluences right now in Bitcoin. We might even take a look at the current volume profile of this range, and we can see that we also have the value area low right here on top of that golden pocket. Massive amounts of confluences in this area. Okay, So if you were to look for potential long, I would look somewhere in this area for Bitcoin, maybe even two different kind of entry points. That is definitely an area of interest for potential long positions. You can also wait for the price to reach that area of interest, show some kinds of strength with potentially a nice sweep, break of structure afterwards, and then you can long on the pullback, okay? So that is right now what I'm looking for. We can still sweep the current lows over here, but we did already sweep that low on the left, as you can see. So nice little sweep. In that case, we'll maybe create some kind of a 3-dive pattern, reclaim, and then can long it towards the upside. Okay, so right now it is hard for me to be really bearish because we are close to support, because we are close to the range low. And usually after a strong move towards the downside, we are seeing a phase of consolidation, which might take a little longer. It should take a little longer, unless, of course, there is some more bad news coming out, for example, about Genesis or about FTX, or I don't know, if any bad news comes out again, we might drop to new lows. Okay, I'm definitely not cutting off that potential scenario. In that case, I am waiting for my spot orders to be filled. Right now, at about 30% spot positions, a little less, 25%, I believe. 75% USDT waiting to be deployed into long-term spot position. Okay. Second of all, Ethereum. We can also see for Ethereum trading in a nice range. 3 pivots, 1, 2, 3 pivots. Nice little range. Also on this one, saw a decent move towards the upside, looking quite similar to Bitcoin. If we want to see some kind of an impulsive move towards the upside, the second wave should once again retrace somewhere between the golden pocket and the 0.786 fib level, okay, before we see any kind of continuation. So we are going from swing low to swing high, and we've detected our area of interest. What can we also see is that on top of the golden pocket right here, we have an hour 1 demand area. Definitely a nice first area of support coming in for Ethereum over here, coming in around $1,137 towards $1,127. The second level is definitely maybe even more interesting. Why? Because we have that wick over here, the sell side liquidity, and right below the sell side liquidity we have some unfilled imbalances. On top of that, we have the 0.786 fib level as confluence, which is very nice indeed. And below that, we have another demand area coming in right here for Ethereum. Okay, so for Ethereum, it's looking quite similar, a little bit different compared to Bitcoin, but definitely looking pretty nice. Here we have the sell side liquidity. Take out potentially the sell side liquidity, bounce from the golden pocket, reclaim, and that should be the trigger for more upside. Okay, if we can look for some more confluences on Ethereum, we can also see exactly where we have the 0.786 fib level. We also have our daily level of support. Very nice indeed. So we're looking at some pretty nice confluences on Ethereum. Weekly time frame, also weekly level, a little bit above the golden pocket, so no proper confluence there. We can take a look at the 4-hourly time frame and take the fixed range volume profile. And if we take the fixed range volume profile, we can see that we have a volume node over here, which is also a little bit above the golden pocket. And we also have a small volume node over here, which is in between the golden pocket and the 0.78 fib level. Okay, so we are looking at very strong confluences as well on Ethereum as well as on Bitcoin. So potentially drop below the sell side liquidity into this demand area where we have the golden pocket, where we also feel some imbalances, as we can see over here, some nice imbalances yet to be filled, or we drop below this sell side liquidity into this imbalance with the proper confluence as well. So also for Ethereum, 2 potential entries where you can put your stop loss below the previous low. Also maybe even 2 entries over here, as you can see. My first target would definitely be take out that buy side liquidity over there. That's already an RR of 3.3 and over here an RR of 5.9. Okay, so combined that's an RR of about 9.2, so that's about 4.6 RR in total if both entries get hit. Obviously take profits along the way if these scenarios play out. Okay, so I think it is pretty clear what are the potential scenarios on Bitcoin and Ethereum. When do these get invalidated? If we get some bad news, I think we drop to new lows. As long as we don't get any bad news, I am having a hard time to see Bitcoin and Ethereum dropping below new lows before taking out at least some buy-side liquidity. Obviously, we never know what happens. It might, if you see decent bounce, move your stop losses to break even. I hope this analysis helped you to understand the current state of Bitcoin and Ethereum and why I'm looking for potential long positions on both of them. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video on Wednesday. Bye bye.